Man, what a night for the Golden State Warriors, and not necessarily in the way fans wanted. The story of this matchup against the Sacramento Kings really comes down to turnovers. Without Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler in the lineup, the Warriors just couldn't get a handle on the ball. 18 turnovers ended up costing them 30 points, and the team was only able to claw back 11 from Sacramento's mistakes. It's the kind of stat line that makes you shake your head because you know how different things could have been with even one of those three-star veterans on the floor. Missing Curry alone is a blow, but when you add Draymond and Jimmy into the mix, you're talking about a team that suddenly has no anchor for ball control, no primary playmaker to slow the game down, and no one who can keep composure in tight spots. Golden State looked disjointed at times, sloppy at others, and it really showed. The Warriors are now sitting at 5 wins and 4 losses, a record that feels fragile given the talent on this roster. You start thinking about games that slipped through their fingers early in the season, and it's frustrating. Losses to teams that shouldn't have been a challenge are weighing on this team, and now a game like this just adds to the tension. On the injury front, Curry's out due to illness, which apparently worsened overnight. Draymond was a last-minute scratch for reasons that weren't really clarified, and Jimmy was still dealing with lower back soreness. All three are 36 or older, which means these absences are going to pop up here and there. But seeing it happen before even 10 games into the season is rough. When you pair that with losses earlier in the season against teams like Milwaukee and Indiana, you begin to see the pattern of vulnerability when Golden State doesn't have its core. Even Al Horford, the veteran center at 39, struggled offensively in this game. Defensively, he did his job, grabbing boards and making smart plays, but shooting remains a problem. He's now one of 16 from beyond the arc over recent games, including in 0-4-7 outing here. Steve Kerr remains optimistic that the shots will start falling again, but for a team trying to weather the storm without its stars, every missed opportunity hurts. The absence of Anthony Melton is also glaring. Golden State lacks a reliable ball handler who can manage pace and minimize turnovers when the big veterans are out. That's a hole that becomes painfully obvious in a game like this. The young guys stepped up in some areas but weren't able to fully compensate. Jonathan Kuminga had a standout scoring night with 24 points, rebounding well and generating extra possessions, but his performance unraveled late. He picked up 4 fouls in the second half, which limited his aggression, and his decision-making in crunch moments wasn't sharp enough. A missed chance to tie the game in the final minute, opting for a contested mid-range jumper instead of a cleaner path to the rim, really summed up the challenges for the young squad. Other youngsters, like the frontcourt duo of Al Horford and Quinn Poole, struggled offensively as well. Poole was 3 for 12 from distance, failing to make an impact on the scoreboard. Gary Payton, too, had a rough night, with turnovers at critical moments, and Trace Jackson-Davis, while getting minutes due to absences, isn't providing the defensive presence Golden State needs. Pat Spencer also showed significant defensive lapses, contributing to a minus rating that the Warriors can't afford when games are this tight. Despite all the struggles, there were bright spots. Moses Moody and Richardson emerged as key contributors, demonstrating that when given the opportunity, Golden State's young core can shine. Moody's scoring has been remarkable, averaging over 26 points across a back-to-back stretch, including a 28-point outing against Sacramento. He's showing an ability to make clean reads, hit threes, and contribute defensively with blocks and timely rotations. Richardson, meanwhile, exploded for 30 points, grabbing rebounds and making critical plays. His composure, particularly in limiting turnovers and making smart decisions with the ball, is exactly what this team needs from its young talent. The potential for a refined rotation is evident. With Moody and Richardson earning consistent minutes, Golden State could establish a core of versatile, two-way players alongside the veterans. The team's frontcourt depth, including Poole, Horford, and Anthony Melton, can anchor defense and rebounding, while the young wings provide energy, scoring, and playmaking. If the Warriors can integrate these players effectively, they have a chance to mitigate the impact of veteran absences and still compete at high level. Right now, though, the takeaway from this Sacramento game is that Golden State is vulnerable when the stars are out. The turnovers, the missed shots, and the defensive lapses all compounded to a 5-point loss. But the flashes of potential from Moody, Richardson, and even Kuminga suggest that there's still a foundation to build on. The challenge for Kerr and his coaching staff will be to maintain focus, limit errors, and get consistent production from both veterans and young players when it matters most. The next steps for Golden State will be critical. They need their stars healthy, their young players confident, and a rotation that balances experience with energy. Games like this, while frustrating, also provide insight into which pieces can carry the team in high-pressure situations. Moody and Richardson are showing they can be trusted in crucial moments, and Kuminga's growth is undeniable, even if his decision-making still needs refinement. The Warriors have the talent and the depth, but translating that into consistent wins will require precision, patience, and smart management of minutes, especially with injuries looming throughout the season. Even with the loss hanging over them, the Golden State Warriors' young core showed flashes that could signal a brighter path forward. Moses Moody, in particular, has been nothing short of sensational over this back-to-back stretch. Against Sacramento, he poured in 24 points on efficient shooting, hitting multiple threes and taking advantage of defensive lapses without forcing the action. What stands out most is how he blends scoring with playmaking. He's not just putting the ball in the basket. He's reading the floor, finding open teammates, and setting up high-quality opportunities. It almost feels like watching a veteran orchestrate offense despite still being just 23. Defensively, he's disruptive too. 4 blocks in this game show his awareness and timing, and his ability to rotate and contest shots without fouling makes him a legitimate two-way threat. When Moody is on the floor, you can see the team flow differently. He brings energy, structure, and a sense that someone is ready to take over if the stars aren't available. Well, Richardson's performance was equally impressive, and in some ways even more eye-opening given the circumstances. Dropping 30 points with minimal turnovers is a remarkable feat for a rookie, and his presence on both ends of the court was noticeable from tip-off. He grabbed 7 rebounds, contributed 5 offensive boards, and consistently made the right read in transition. What separates Richardson is his composure. He doesn't overthink the game, he doesn't force shots, and he rarely makes errors that swing momentum against the Warriors. He's a national champion, and that experience is translating into a maturity beyond his years in the NBA. His 4-point play late in the game wasn't just a scoring highlight. It demonstrated his ability to create in the clutch, a quality that could make him a cornerstone for Golden State's rotation. Jonathan Kuminga, despite some mistakes, is still showing real growth. His 24-point night included some crucial offensive rebounds and hustle plays that kept Golden State in striking distance. The challenge for him moving forward will be combining that offensive aggression with smarter defensive choices and fewer turnovers. He's still prone to fouling at critical moments, which limits his effectiveness in crunch time. But the potential is undeniable. When you pair his athleticism and scoring ability with the poise of Moody and Richardson, Golden State could have a trio capable of handling key stretches even when the veterans are sidelined. The question now becomes about consistency. Can this trio maintain focus for 48 minutes, or will mistakes continue to cost them in tight games? The Sacramento matchup offered both hope and warning in equal measure. Looking at the bigger picture, Golden State's rotation needs refinement. With Anthony Melton still rehabbing, the team is missing a calming ball-handling presence that can dictate tempo and reduce turnovers. That absence is glaring in games like this, where the lack of veteran control leads to sloppiness and costly mistakes. Kerr now has a decision to make. Integrate the young players into a more prominent role while ensuring minutes are balanced, or risk relying too heavily on an aging core that will inevitably face more absences. The early season injuries underscore the fragility of this balance. Curry, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler can't be on the bench for extended periods without the team paying a price, and Sacramento is a prime example of that. The young players showed promise, but without careful management, they could be set up to fail when the pressure is highest. Defensively, the Warriors showed moments of brilliance and breakdowns in equal measure. Moody's blocks and rotations were crucial, and Richardson's positioning on the floor disrupted several Sacramento possessions. But lapses from the rest of the young roster, particularly in closing out shooters and securing rebounds, gave the Kings opportunities that shouldn't have existed. It's clear that while the talent is there, experience matters. Closing out games, maintaining composure under pressure, and understanding situational basketball are skills that come with repetition and guidance. The veterans provide that guidance, and in their absence, the young players are learning the hard way. Each mistake in this game, whether it was a turnover in transition or a missed defensive rotation, offers a lesson. KERR and his staff now have the challenge of taking these lessons and turning them into growth without the season slipping away. The future for the Warriors is starting to take shape in these performances. Moody and Richard have proven that they can handle significant minutes, make high-level plays, and maintain composure in the face of adversity. Their development will be essential for the team's success, particularly in games where the stars are absent or limited. Meanwhile, the lessons learned from the turnovers, shooting struggles, and defensive lapses provide a roadmap for the coaching staff to refine strategies and rotations. If Golden State can find the right balance between leveraging its experienced stars and empowering the young players, there's every reason to believe they can remain a formidable force in the league, even amid the inevitable challenges that come with injuries, absences, and the grind of a full NBA season. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers are spreading through the NBA, and the epicenter appears to be the Golden State Warriors. Head coach Steve Kerr, usually measured and diplomatic, dropped a bombshell in a recent press interaction, fueling speculation and stirring the rumor mills. Kerr hinted that there is a player contaminating the squad, a choice of words that has set fans and analysts alike on fire. While he offered no names, the comment suggests internal tension that could be affecting the team's chemistry, a key ingredient in the Warriors' historic successes. This isn't the first time whispers of locker room unrest have surfaced in Golden State, but coming from Kerr, it carries a weight few others could match. The term contaminating has sent social media into overdrive, with debates raging over whether the issue is related to attitude, work ethic, or off-court drama. Analysts are dissecting every recent game and practice session, trying to pinpoint which player's behavior might fit the description. Some point to inconsistent performers, while others speculate it could be someone quietly disrupting the harmony that Kerr has carefully cultivated over the years. For a team that has thrived on cohesion, the implications are significant. The Warriors' championship runs have always relied on a delicate balance of talent, ego management, and trust. Even a minor disruption can ripple through the locker room, affecting both performance on the court and morale off it. As of now, the Warriors' front office remains tight-lipped, refusing to comment publicly on Kerr's cryptic remark, which only adds fuel to the swirling rumor. Fans are left to wonder, is this a brewing scandal, a personality clash, or simply a misunderstood remark from a frustrated coach? Whatever the case, the Warriors camp has become the hottest story in the league overnight. Every game, practice snippet, and player interaction is now under scrutiny, with the rumor threatening to overshadow even the team's on-court achievements. If nothing else, Kerr's comment has reminded everyone that even championship dynasties are not immune to the human element. A single disruptive presence can unsettle even the most celebrated squads. The coming weeks could reveal whether this is a fleeting rumor or a sign of real turmoil within one of the NBA's most storied franchises. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.